DICT. Sa probinsya pa yung isa, yung previous slide. Kasi kung totoo yan, meron tayong spy sa mga ahensya, ay labas na natin yung mga mukha nila. Di ba? Wala silang karapatan maging bahagi ng civil service roster natin.
Mr. Chair, meron po tayong dalawang regulasyon kung saan sa pamamagitan po na ito, pwede po nating ma-prevent po yung binabanggit nyo po na sitwasyon. Ito po ang Executive Order 608 patungkol po sa pagbibigay po ng security clearance at yung kalakip po nito ang Memorandum Circular 78. Hindi naman po ito, this does not fully guarantee kasi this does not apply to all government employees. Pero we are mentioning this lalo na kasi we would like to remind all our government agencies that for those personnel or employees that have access to sensitive systems and information, dapat po dumaan po sila sa security clearance system po natin na pinapamahalaan po ng National Security Council na tinutulungan po ng NICA, Mr. Chair.
Is there an internal security clearance system within the ICT? Meron ba ngayon? Yes or no lang?
For the Cybersecurity Bureau lang po, sir.
So you have a Cybersecurity Bureau, which is an internal unit.
Opo.
O external yon?
Internal, sir.
Anong trabaho nun?
Before, sir, mag-hire po, may nagba-background check po kami for the Cybersecurity Bureau po.
Bago ma-hire, background check. Pero pag nagtatrabaho na, nandoon na.
Wala, sir, na ano.
Wala. Okay na, cleared ka na. Cleared ka na forever hanggang mag-retire ka. Ganon. Sa DOST.
There is a national security clearance system within DOST po, sir.
Sinong nag-implement nun?
I will have to confirm po,
Naku,
sir.
hindi natin masasagot to. Iko-confirm mo pa. So siguro yun ang kulang dito. The clearance system should be continuing. Hindi po pwedeng entry level, pumasok, tapos tuwing Lunes, manunumpa na lang. Ako ay ganito, no? Flag ceremony. So we have to do something about that. Kasi may nakita ko kanina ng slide, yung magsabay yung DICT at DOST. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I was also reminded by our agency legal service that the two guidelines that were mentioned earlier, EO 608 and MC 78, only covers the executive. Yes, Mr. Chair.
So wala sa legislative, wala sa judiciary.
Wala po, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed. Meron akong tanong siguro May wala dito yung Securities and Exchange Commission. May mga volunteer groups, gaya nitong Xiaoxing Volunteer Group, Philippine-China Association of Promotion of Peace and Friendship Incorporated. Ano to? Paano na-scrutinize naman to? Kasi kanina, we're talking of individuals entering the government service. Paano naman yung grupo na entering mainstream society? Na natulong din. Paano ito nakiklear?
So now, Mr. Chair, we really have to rely on the diligence and the vigilance of our government agencies kasi sila po, not just the government agencies rather, but also the local government units kasi sila po talaga ang unang sasala bago pa po makarating yan sa ating national security and law enforcement agencies. So, Mr. Chair, mahirap po na sagutin kung sino dapat pupunta yung ganitong grupo unless po they have a certain agency has a clear mandate of law na sila dapat ang magpoproseso sa isang grupo. For example, kung magre-rehistro po bilang negosyo, may dadaanan pong mga ahensya po yan, katulad po ng SEC natin. Kung mga ano naman po, kung mga foundation, ganun din po, kailangan po nilang magrehistro, so on and so forth. But beyond that, Mr. Chair, unless vigilante po at aware at nag-due diligence po ang ating mga ahensya, dyan po siguro papasok na yung mga tinatawag natin the things that fall through the cracks, Mr. Chair.
Salamat. I understand that Admiral Gaban, you're about to leave. Meron kang gustong idagdag?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. First of all, Honorable Chair, please allow me, as the Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard, to manifest our greatest gratitude and deepest gratitude to the Honorable Chair for being the champion for the passage of the Maritime Zones Act and the Archipelagic Zones Act. The two measures, the two laws actually clarified finally the extent of our maritime territory and jurisdiction, as well as our rights and obligation as a sovereign maritime and archipelagic country. This enabled the Coast Guard to do its role better, to secure the sovereignty and territory of this country. That's why, Your Honor, this hearing is very, very important for the Philippine Coast Guard, and it is the reason why I am here, to highlight how important this is. So thank you very much, Your Honor, for championing the maritime cause of our maritime country. I have with me, Your Honors, the Commander of the Coast Guard Investigation and Detection Management Service. He has full authority to respond to any question which will be asked by the Honorable Chair on behalf of the Philippine Coast Guard. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The committee is ready to dispense with your presence. I know that you have a lot of things to do today, so we thank your attendance. We will direct some questions later on to Commodore Tanseco. Salamat, sir.
Thank you very much, Your
You're
Honor.
now excused.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, DDG. Yung on a scale of 1 to 10, ganong kalaki na ang damage na lumapat sa ating mga sangay ng pamahalaan? Ganong kalaki na? Huwag mo nang banggitin yung mga government agencies.
Mr. Chair, ang pinag-uusapan po kasi natin dito ngayon ay tinatawag nating offensive cyber operations. Dalawang klase po yun. Cyber espionage at saka po destructive cyber attacks. Marahil po maraming nag-iisip, wala pa naman tayo nakikitang very destructive cyber attacks. Kaya okay lang po siguro tayo. We would like to make the submission, Mr. Chair, na hindi po dapat tayo kakampante dahil ang cyber espionage po a precursor lamang of what may be potentially destructive cyber attacks waiting to happen, Mr. Chair. Meron po tayong tinatawag na prepositioning activities. Napansin po natin ito sa dalawa out of the three, hindi na lang natin po papangalanan, telecommunications networks, yung tinatawag po natin ng mga customer premise equipment. Yun pong mga routers po. Meron pong mga nakapasok na doon na cyber threat actors, pero kung titingnan yun po, tahimik lang silang andon nung na-monitor po natin. So, it begs the question, what is their intention? So, kung itatranslate nyo po yan sa ibang larangan, for example, what if these threat actors are also prepositioned in critical sectors or critical infrastructure, just waiting for the right time or the right opportunity to conduct attacks. Kaya po, ang submission po namin ngayon, Mr. Chair, is dapat tuloy-tuloy po yung ating cyber threat intelligence, yung ating pong cyber threat hunting, at yung pagpapatalsik po ng itong mga cyber threat actors pag nakikita po natin sila sa loob ng ating mga networks, Mr. Chair. I'm about to wind down, Mr. Chair. I have 3 more slides.
Pero bago siguro yon, balikan ko yung hindi ko natanong kanina. One is directed to NSC and one is for NICA. How are the NICA and NSC addressing the infiltration of Chinese disinformation through troll networks and social media in an election year? Monitoring lang ito. How do you address this? Yung infiltration ng Chinese disinformation. Is this ongoing?